A crown is a traditional headwear worn by a monarch or by a deity for whom the crown traditionally represents power, legitimacy, victory, triumph, honor, and glory, as well as immortality, righteousness, and resurrection. In art, the crown may be shown being offered to those on earth by angels. Apart from the traditional form, crowns also may be in the form of a wreath and be made of flowers, oak leaves, or thorns and be worn by others, representing what the coronation part aims to symbolize with the specific crown. In religious art, a crown of stars is used similarly to a halo. Crowns worn by rulers often contain jewels. Terminology. 3 distinct categories of crowns exist in those monarchies that use crowns as state regalia. Coronation, worn by monarchs when being crowned. State, worn by monarchs on other state occasions. Consort crowns, worn by Queen's consort, signifying rank granted as a constitutional courtesy protocol. In classical antiquity, the crown that was sometimes awarded to people other than rulers, such as triumphal military generals or athletes, was actually a wreath, a chaplet, or ribbon-like diadem. History. The precursor to the crown was the brow band called the diadem, which had been worn by the Achaemenid Persian emperors, was adopted by Constantine I, and was worn by all subsequent rulers of the later Roman Empire. Numerous crowns of various forms were used in antiquity, such as the white crown, red crown, combined scant crown and blue crown of pharaonic Egypt, the corona radiata, the radiant crown, known best on the Statue of Liberty, and perhaps worn by the Helios that was the Colossus of Rhodes, was worn by Roman emperors as part of the cult of Sol Invictus prior to the Roman Empire's conversion to Christianity. It was referred to as the chaplet studded with sunbeams by Lucian about 180 AD. Perhaps the oldest extant Christian crown in Europe is the Iron Crown of Lombardy, of Roman and Longobarд age, later again used to crown modern kings of Napoleonic and Austrian Italy, and to represent United Italy after 1860. In the Christian tradition of European cultures, where ecclesiastical sanction authenticates monarchic power, when a new monarch assumes the throne in a coronation ceremony, the crown is placed on the new monarch's head by a religious official. Some, though not all, early Holy Roman emperors traveled to Rome at some point in their careers to be crowned by the Pope. Napoleon, according to legend, surprised Pius VII when he reached out and crowned himself, although in reality this order of ceremony had been pre-arranged. Today, only the British monarchy and Tongan monarchy continue this tradition as the only remaining anointed and crowned monarchs, though many monarchies retain a crown as a national symbol in heraldry. The French crown jewels were sold in 1885 on the orders of the Third French Republic, with only a token number, with the precious stones replaced by glass held onto for historic reasons and displayed by the Louvre. The Spanish crown jewels were destroyed in a major fire in the 18th century, while the so-called Irish crown jewels were stolen from Dublin Castle. In 1907, just before the investiture of Bernard Edward Barnaby Fitzpatrick, 2nd Baron Castletown, special headgear to designate rulers dates back to prehistory, and is found in many separate civilizations around the globe. Commonly, rare and precious materials are incorporated into the crown, but that is only essential for the notion of crown jewels. Gold and precious jewels are common in Western and Oriental crowns. In the Native American civilizations of the pre-Columbian New World, rare feathers, such as that of the Quetzal, often decorated crowns. So too, in Polynesia, coronation is often combined with other rituals, such as enthronement and anointing. In other cultures, no crown is used in the equivalent of coronation, but the head may still be otherwise symbolically adorned, as a royal tika in the Hindu tradition of India. As an emblem, a crown is often an emblem of the monarchy, a monarch's government, or items endorsed by it. The word itself is used, particularly in Commonwealth countries, as an abstract name for the monarchy itself, as distinct from the individual who inhabits it. A specific type of crown is employed in heraldry under strict rules. Indeed, some monarchies never had a physical crown, just a heraldic representation, as in the constitutional Kingdom of Belgium, where no coronation ever took place. The royal installation is done by a solemn oath in Parliament, wearing a military uniform. The king is not acknowledged as by divine right, but assumes the only hereditary public office in the service of the law, so he in turn will swear in all members of his federal government. Costume headgear imitating a monarch's crown is also called a crown. Such costume crowns may be worn by actors portraying a monarch, people at costume parties, or ritual monarchs, such as the king of a carnival crew, or the person who found the trinket in a king cake. The nuptial crown, sometimes called a coronal, worn by a bride, and sometimes the bridegroom, at her wedding, is found in many European cultures since ancient times. In the present day, it is most common in Eastern Orthodox cultures. The Eastern Orthodox marriage service has a section called the crowning, wherein the bride and groom are crowned as king and queen of the future household. In Greek weddings, the crowns are diadems usually made of white flowers, synthetic or real, often adorned with silver or mother of pearl. They are placed on the heads of the newlyweds and are held together by a ribbon of white silk. They are then kept by the couple as a reminder of the special day. In Slavic weddings, the crowns are usually made of ornate metal, designed to resemble an imperial crown, and are held above the newlyweds' heads by the best men. A parish usually owns one set to use for all the couples that are married, since these are much more expensive than Greek-style crowns. This was common in Catholic countries in the past. Crowns are also often used as symbols of religious status or veneration, by divinities or by the representatives, e.g., the black crown of the Karmapa Lama, sometimes used a model for wider use by devotees. A crown of thorns, according to the Bible, was placed on the head of Jesus before his crucifixion and has become a common symbol of martyrdom. According to Roman Catholic tradition, the Blessed Virgin Mary was crowned as Queen of Heaven after her assumption into heaven. She is often depicted wearing a crown, and statues of her in churches and shrines are ceremonially crowned during May. The crown of immortality is also common in historical symbolism. The heraldic symbol of three crowns, referring to the three evangelical magi, traditionally called kings, is believed thus to have become the symbol of the Swedish kingdom. But it also fits the historical Kalmar union between the three kingdoms of Denmark, Sweden, and Norway. Dances of certain traditional Thai dances often wear crowns on the head. These are inspired in the crowns worn by deities and kings. Image gallery. Numismatics, because one or more crowns, alone or as part of a more elaborate design, often appear on coins. Several monetary denominations came to be known as a crown, or the equivalent word in the local language, such as krone. This persists in the case of the national currencies of the Scandinavian countries and the Czech Republic. The generic term crown size is frequently used for any coin roughly the size of an American silver dollar.